Thank you mo. Syiemlieh.
Kahnyau Trap Youth Council Malki Circle hakajan mian arfulai tarik mentau benai rempang kala Pynkupburom yu Dr. David Reed Syiemlieh ubalong rangba balawara na mi kejai ben reu khasi da kejing yu ajung ui kikirdan ki baselor haka sarkar preng u Dr. David Syiemlieh ude rangba ubadang susha thung kom chairman batmai haka Union Public Service Commission ne UPSC nalor kit khot ka circle ki balaidan lang haka ne ke jelang Pynkupburom ki kentop yu kireu rangba kasnong Malki kilong keme ki samla bat kumju rangba asnong ba Edge of Lindoling bat ki bahayang hasam jong Dr. David Reed Syiemlieh kinong kanan hakne ke janme kilapan pau ba kene jing sha je jong Dr. David Reed Syiemlieh ban bat yakne kerdan kalong ka buram ka bakrawi kasnong Malki bat yakari bat kajai ban reu hi barok koi kene ke jing yo Dr. David Reed Syiemlieh yakne kerdan ka bahe hakatnat sarkar jong ka sarkar preng lese kan long ka jing aiman siam ki babon ki samla ka jela bandan ka thong ki kerdan ki basalor
ya jing isman ila poi do kene benta kum na kliang ka dong ki men subon bai bat bed ila yo ya kene benta maria pa ko kubor kanongi perlo perjongi kemen ni sunat bana kaliang kadong jong kasnong balen kasnong Malki ila yo ha kani kadan kanu lo ni sunat kaburom kaba ibadi bed la ai nam ta ka yeng ka sen nam ta ka kur ka jan ba nam ta ka jan berwiwi para kowai ha ka bang impoi pukhan ba nang ni kasnong jongi nak kasnong Malki ni kum kini ki brio ki basta ba ki wasam hang kiba lesi na balong ba kiara ikshong Malki ha ka ba ki iba governor udin ni ikshong ni Malki iba dimet ba kiwi ru kiusta kiba mi na ni ikshong kiba la pois kibenta kiba fair ba kiba yo ekerdan kiba fair teknologi kendiat ba dimet na ong ibi kenma hikailam eka ketian kasih jongi syakata kecekah ke pipi don wadung kelat eka ketian lejong eka ketian kasih iba governor ilong ibrio ibom jukelat eka ketian lejong ya ketian kasih tenteng lebih iwan senong sendia iwan ne po Malki ikran eka ketian Malki ban ngengek lu badiwet ngasai eka ketian lejong banum kelat ban penim eka ketian kejongi
She seen pila ai pila shimpor nanga 6:30 kamot 6:30 and ever in your life do not hold it that you should take it back by another half an hour ningkong ngai kublai try kan rat ba ilabo yanga hakni kakardan bangadan kum chairman UPSC ngai kuble ya phi baroru bawan mentasngi bandan lang patni hangne kasngiru ka tala jan nyobaje ni shong ha plau janga ka kriat but I will not talk long and I will move to English to tell you something about Kakambangale Port Delhi. According to Article 315 to 323, you have the details of the Public Service Commission. A commission that draws its inspiration going back to 1927 after the Act of 1919. And India needed a Public Service Commission even during the British times to administer the recruitment of persons to the government of India. And in 1950, when the Government of India Act was passed, giving India its constitution, the members of the UPSC were given constitutional status. And as of today, we have 10 members, and I joined on the 21st of June 2012, and after 5 years of functioning as an honorable member, the President of India has been pleased to appoint me as Honorable Chairman of the Union Public Service Commission. Now, tip, baki khasi, tam ki nyotrak ki kumen I'm also representing the whole of India. And as much as we have this hope and inspiration that from within our community, Ngidanki, my job is to look around the entire country and to see young people like many of you in front of me here who will come up and aspire and take the leadership in good governance in India. My life has been a struggle. It was very difficult in the early years in our schooling, and we went to a mission school that gave us love. I went to a college that continued giving me love. And if there's anything that I have to do in my life, it is to give love, goodness, and help and inspiration. I'm not after power and influence. I'm not after material aspects of life. Because what happens in life is the memory and the goodness that we leave behind. I'll give you two short stories. I was returning from Azerbaijan, and I had just arrived Delhi. At some distance, I could see a police officer saluting me and commanding my attention. And I walked up to him. I said, "Good evening, sir." And anybody in uniform is sir for me because he must hold that responsibility and that authority. And when I said, "Good evening, sir," he replied back again and he said, "Good evening, sir. You recruited me." And it was a tremendous inspiration for me that we have young people like that police officer on duty in the Indira Gandhi airport, and he's taking care of all the travelers that are moving up and down that wonderful airport. On another day, I was traveling home, and it was at Christmas, I believe, when we were all rushing to get back home for the goodies at Christmas. And I could feel a sense of push behind me, and somebody touched me. And I turned back and I saw this young man and said, "Good evening, sir." And I said, "Good evening." And he said, "I remember you." He said, "Sir, I was on your board. Thank you." And these little things in life are important. When anybody does good for you, give thanks. There are many other stories, but one inspiration I have, and I must leave you with that this evening, is an interview I had in the UPSC 2 years ago, and a candidate came who was blind. And in the UPSC we have position for people who are blind, and they have to be interviewed after passing an examination. And Nandu, my dear peon, had caught her hand and very carefully brought her to the seat opposite me. And we started that interview. And believe me, young men and you young people out here, that was one of the best interviews I have conducted of a person who was blind 100%. And she was an inspiration not only for me in her ability to speak and to present herself. She did well, and she entered into the civil services. You know, when I pray every evening before I sleep, I pray that I can see the sunrise every morning. I think that's a wonderful prayer that I have, because it gives me confidence that God will be with me in my sleep and as I get up every morning, and that I will be in time for my duty the next day. So thank you very much, Syiemlieh Baba. Your sing, you have done me tremendous honor, Kila. I borom yanga, but ki trophies bapi ayanga, I will treasure them. Just as much as I hope to be the inspiration for you, you young people over here,